Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. We love a lot of different beer stuffs. Regular reviews, mystery beers, a whole bunch of stuff. One of our favorites, though, is collabs. When they're from two breweries that we really dig. We get all hot and bothered. Stowe. Style. Yeah, you got a little bit of Trapp Brewing and Narragansett coming at you with their Festbier. Trapp Festbier with Narragansett. It's a hoppy wheat lager. So it's a hoppy Weizen lager. 5.8% alcohol by volume. That's it, man. No other story time on there. You know, you can tell classic Narragansett like logoing on there. But this definitely comes from the Stowe side of things. And the Trapp side of things. And I just saw this at just a random spot. I think it's been out for a little bit. There is no born on date, which is pretty dumb. It has a Best By date of January 15th, 2024. We are almost into December 2023. My guess with this being a fest beer and that date is they put 6 months on this, so I assume this came out in July. So you're talking about July to August, September, October, November, almost December. Shouldn't have any problems with the fest beer. Full disclosure, snaz, not 100%, but deal with it. Or I'll deal with it. Listen, I have a kid. He's going to be 3. I'm going to be perpetually sniffly probably for the next 15 or so years. So I'm either going to have to be okay with doing beer reviews with a little bit of stuffed uppiness. I'm not sick. It's just how it rolls. So yeah, deal with it. Anyway, label-wise, I love it, man. Like I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Because that's not Narragansett. Yes, it is, blah, blah, blah. So I do dig the label quite a bit. And as far as the beer goes, you know, it looks what you'd expect from a wheat-based fest beer. You don't really see that all that often. Not that they don't exist, but when you think about fest beer in general, you think of a base grain bill, nothing too crazy, chugger, drinker, not necessarily wheat-based beer. Now you're talking a Weizen beer and lagered at fest beer ABV, which is what, mid-5s here, 5.8%. I can get down with that. So yeah, it has that soft, subtle haze that you come to expect with like a wheat beer, but also has that nice kind of snow globy, clearish, strawish color kind of look to it that you'd expect from a fest beer. Index finger is white, because white could be head. Let's get nose. Not a ton. Could be the schnoz at work, but you know what? I've been smelling pretty good, so I don't think it's necessarily that. It's more of a congestion thing rather than my nose being blocked. But I'm not getting a big wheat component off of this. I'm getting a maltiness. I'm getting a subtle wheatness. But when you think about a wheat beer, you think about a Weizen, you start to dip into those kind of clovey, banana kind of things. Definitely not getting that here. You're getting something that's a little bit beefier, maltier, wheat grainier than what you'd expect from a fest beer is basically how it's coming off. Super clean, nothing as far as negative off flavor, but not a big explosive nose. Not that you expect it with that ABV level. Just dive in. Cheers, y'all. Oh, yeah. Actually, that is goddamn delicious. Because a couple different things at play here. Way more bitter than I thought it was going to be. Way more bitter than you typically get from a fest. We're in check. Pills level bitterness here. So that's a cool kind of throw in it. And then when you add in that mix of that definite wheat-based grain bill, but having been given that lager treatment with that really nice popping of bittering, it's a really kind of boisterous, very, very loud for its style fest beer, because you don't really expect that fest beer. Again, it's a drinker, it's a chugger, it's what you go to a fest and you drink. It's utilitarian to a certain extent. Or to a very large extent. But this just comes off quite showy. You know, super hyper crisp and clean. I mean, squeaky clean, epically well made. That bittering, like I said, there's a cool kind of sweetness to it. That combines the bittering, the hoppiness, I should say, to give you this cool kind of fruity, again, kind of like little jazzed up melon, little jazzed up like citrus notes kind of floating in there. Nothing too aggressive. Again, keep in mind ABV and style here, but for that, it's quite big. And then you back that up with this really sturdy wheat base. Well, it can't be 100% wheat, but it's definitely heavily wheat, probably more than 50% wheat. That's my guess, that it's not 100% wheat, but it gives this little bit almost rye-like kind of vibe to it without being spicy. That's the way rye typically comes off. Outside of that typical spiciness you get from rye, there's just a density, a bit more heftiness to the malt, the way it kind of comes off when you drink a rye-based beer. That's kind of what I'm getting here, but it doesn't have that kind of spiciness. Sure, a little bit from the hops that are giving you a little bit, but you know it's just all malt-based. That heavy, that little bit of density, I shouldn't say heavy, density, is the word I want to use, and it just adds this kind of like, again, boisterousness, largeness, bigness, showiness to the beer. I think this is really good. And especially, probably looking, 5 months old. Still drinking pretty damn well. I'm actually quite surprised because, when I think about, I know with the Stowe series, they can be a little bit different. Although, is it Stowe series just a collab series for them? Again, regardless, they can be a little bit outside of the box. But you think of Trapp, you think very, very close to the vest. You think very, very traditional beer style. Same thing with Narragansett. I mean, Narragansett, if you go to the brewery, they have all kinds of kooky stuff. It can be quite a bit different there, but what you see, your fresh catch, you're just their lager, the whole nine. It's very, very uber traditional. And what you have here is two breweries that ring very traditional, bringing a really cool twist and a really cool kind of move on what is in a hyper-traditional style as a Festbier. You're getting that wheat base. You're getting this really cool, aggressive, fruity, yet snappy bittering, Czech-level bittering kind of hop on there that turns it into this really fun, really cool collaboration of two breweries that, honestly, I love. I love me some Narragansett. I buy Von Trapp on the reg. Their beers, them and Jack's Abbey are kind of like, okay, we're just going to rip some lagers and do some awesome stuff all the time, kind of mixed pack kind of thing. That's a rotation that's heavy in my household. So I was kind of hoping for the best with this beer, and I got something that was a little bit outside of what I hoped for, but I didn't get the beer I wanted. I got the beer I deserved, which is a very, very, very tasty take on a Festbier. I think that's it. I think we covered it all. So yeah, is this one of the better Festbiers I've had? I was like, yes. Mount Rushmore said is yes. It's definitely, BJCP guidelines, probably not in that, but we don't adhere to those. We go by a beat of our own drum and just say it's tasty AF and it's deserving of being up there. Value and availability, I mean, it's $12 for a 4-pack. It's, Von Trapp and Narragansett. It's not going to be expensive, but it's going to be well made. And it's going to be readily available for most people. And leave you with, if you like what you like this. If you think Fest beers are awesome, you really dig on wheat beers, but you're not a big banana clove phenolic person, that's the thing that it turns you off a little bit, and you're a sucker for Czech Pils bittering. It is that trifecta of deliciousness all just wrapped up in this pretty little can. You'll dig it. Narragansett. Von Trapp. Have you been in the breweries? I've never been in Narragansett. I've been to Von Trapp several times. Love that place. Food's awesome. Beer's awesome. Stowe's awesome. Narragansett, I've got to go there. But it's kind of out there in a little bit weird land. But I'll make it. I'll make it someday. But have you been there? Have you had their beers? What are some of your favorite beers from Von Trapp in Narragansett? Have you had this beer? Have you had this beer? Do you like it? What do you think about it? Am I on point with what you're thinking? Have you had it fresh? When did you have it? Have you had it recently? All that fun stuff down there. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little collaboration right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers, y'all.